Well, Israel has struck Iranian oil storage facilities and parts of Iran's biggest natural gas field as well this weekend. But that's not having an impact on the price of oil, perhaps something of a surprise. Let's get to Brian Sullivan, of course, who covers all of these markets and so much more for us. Brian, what's your take in terms of the moves here we've seen in the commodity itself, given all the news?
The take, guys, is that, and by the way, let's hope that what Megan was talking about, some kind of negotiated peace, let's all hope that occurs. And I think the market is reflecting the optimism right now that that indeed happens. I think the big part of this story is not that oil moved last week. It's that oil is not moving right now. So here are kind of the quick headlines as we know them. Oil is down. Natural gas is up. OPEC not yet responding with more oil. And by the way, they may not. Side note, Iran is actually the rotating president of OPEC this year. And the critical aspect, David and Carl and Sarah, the Strait of Hormuz is still busy. That is critical to watch. And of course, U.S. production is at a record high, right under 13.5 million barrels a day. Let's quickly dig into more. All right, so as we know over the weekend, Israel hitting 4 energy targets in Iran. But here's the key. Those targets were almost entirely focused on domestic energy production. It's basically meant to drive up gasoline prices in Iran. One strike was on Iran's South Pars gas field. That's critical to watch. Biggest natural gas field in the world, largely offshore and actually shared on the other side of the Persian Gulf by Qatar. Israel, for its part, shutting down 2 natural gas production areas. A little risky in the long term. Israel needs natural gas to make electricity. 70% of its electricity comes from natural gas power. So Israel wants to get those turned back on as soon as it can. But by shutting them off, it's setting the price of natural gas a little bit higher. So why is oil down? Well, as I noted, oil is down because there is no disruption to the Strait of Hormuz, at least not yet. This is the critical aspect to watch. Cannot express that enough. If we start to see mines laid down or missiles flying or ship traffic impacted at all in the Straits, then oil is likely going to pop by a lot, but it will not until that happens, and let's hope it doesn't. So what about OPEC? Will OPEC respond, guys, with more oil? Keep in mind, 8 countries in OPEC already previously agreeing to add 411,000 more barrels per day to the market. Something else to watch, and this is interesting, seems to be a very different feeling about the current situation between OPEC and the International Energy Agency, the IEA. Look at this note OPEC put out over the weekend. They said, quote, OPEC confirms no developments in supplier demand that warrant unnecessary changes. In other words, guys, OPEC doesn't see a reason to add more oil to the market right now. But the head of the IEA gave a slightly different message to the market, writing this, quote, the IEA is actively monitoring the impact on oil markets from the Iran-Israel situation. Markets are well supplied today, but we are ready to act if needed. The IEA security system, kind of their strategic petroleum reserve, has over 1.2 billion barrels of emergency stocks and have proved vital to safeguarding the world economy. OPEC, guys, didn't like that tweet and added this to their communique saying, quote, today's statement by the IEA executive director regarding current market conditions and the potential use of emergency stocks raises false alarms and projects a sense of fear through talking about using emergency stocks. So a little more back and forth between the two organizations. They rarely see eye to eye these days. It's maybe taking it up a notch. And again, I can't highlight enough, guys, the rotating president of OPEC is Iran. It's a guy named Mohsen Paknejad. He is the president for this year, and the head of Saudi Aramco recently saying that oil can help with diplomacy. Maybe we're going to find out. Very rare, once every 5-year OPEC seminar happening 3 weeks from now in Austria. That, maybe in the G7 too, could be some kind of scene of real diplomacy.